Welcome to Birdistan. Let's get started with today's video, and it is going to be an interesting video. Listen very carefully. I will be giving you 5 reasons why you should not hate crows. This could be 5 reasons to even like them, even adore them, love them around you. I really care for birds, and I like to break all the misconceptions so that it's easier for us humans to connect with the birds even more, connect with nature even more, so that we don't have false ideas in our mind to avoid something which should not be avoided, which should be accepted and embraced naturally. A lot of us do not, even all those people who are bird watchers, bird lovers, may not like crows as one of their birds. I hardly hear people talk about crows. Nobody wants to talk about a common crow. Why? Because they think it's not that attractive, it's not that interesting, it's not that amazing. But I can give you 5 reasons why you will start liking them right after this video or while listening to me. So this is my research, this is my observation that I'm going to share with you so that we can break all of those misconceptions. And this channel is made so that we all can start loving birds, or forging a connection with them that we didn't know how to do. So these are my 5 reasons why we should like crows and not hate them at all. The first one being, they are great parents. Now, what more do you want from another living thing to be? They are naturally great parents. They are genuinely caring parents. And you may not have heard of this. You may not have even noticed it. And by the appearance, they don't really give that out. Every time when you see a picture and you will be shown a cunning crow who's seeing and trying to eye for something. As a child, I grew up and I saw a crow and I thought it's only eyeing my food. And it was actually. But they are great parents. Crows take care of the young ones up to 1.5 to 2 years. Literally. Other birds, they are done in few months, a couple of weeks. But crows take care of their young ones after, of course, getting out of the nest, up to 1.5 years to 2 years. They're training, they're looking after them, seeing that they are good, their well-being is seen. It is taken care of by the parents for a long time. In fact, certain crows stay together as a close family up to almost 5 years. So crows can stay in a very close, compact family for a long time. I had a family that was being raised just a couple of months ago during the rainy season this year, where the nestlings came out and perched on our tree, a wonderful neem tree that we have. And I would watch them, sit and watch them. The crows looked almost the size of their parents, but the parents were always concerned. These young ones, juveniles, were always perched on this neem tree, and the parents would be watching over them, getting food for them, getting grub for them, and feeding them. If you start observing birds carefully, you will also see habits or things that you may not have thought of, or you may not have seen before. I used to see how the parent crow, whether it was male or female, I wouldn't know, how the parent crow would also teach cleanliness habits and small things to the juvenile that we do as humans, but that was done with crows. So it's amazing bonding that they share with the young ones. They are literally like responsible parents. So a mother crow and father crow can be very responsible parents for their juveniles. I think that could be one of the reasons why the Asian quail often puts its eggs in a crow's nest, not only because of the appearance, but also they can be naturally, genuinely caring parents. And that is one of the reasons we can start respecting them for what they are. We have lots of misconceptions when it comes to crows. And second one being them not being loyal. People often give an example also, literally go on to give an example. In Hindi, so many people say, "Kawa mat ban." Like in a relationship, if you are too selfish or you are an opportunist, you are called a kawa. You are called a crow. They don't be like a crow. But it's not true. It's false, I would say. Crows are not disloyal. They are independent. They are independent to the core. And somebody being independent does not mean they are disloyal or they are cunning or they are evil. That is what is, the false idea that people have created about crows. Crows are supremely independent. They do not depend on you or on a master or on a pet owner to give them their food. They can do that quite independently on their own. So when a person as a human, they start feeding a crow, they expect them to forge a connection, they expect them to start being regarded like a master or a pet owner, where a crow is not going to do that, because the crow knows and it understands that it is an independent identity. It does not have to depend on that human for that food. You might feed them for 20 days, you might feed them for 2 years, but what happens on the third year? They are independent living thing, and it is good for them because they don't have to depend on somebody else to look after them. What happens when you don't do? If you don't do, they know they're surviving, so they can survive in any circumstance because they are that independent. They are not disloyal to you, and because of that, they don't treat you better when you start feeding them. You feed them, don't feed them, it does not make a difference, because they are different from us. The things that we may put together, they don't have to act that way. They act the way they are, we should act the way we are. And they are not a cat, they are not a dog who may start depending on like domestic animals. They are dependent on humans for their needs, for their food, for their water, or for us to take care of them or to provide them security. Crows don't need that, they don't expect that from us, and that is the reason why they may come across as disloyal. In fact, I can give you an example how good certain crows can be, and some of them are nasty, I would say, just like the way they look. I had this sudden problem. It wasn't there before. We always have crows around us. So in my window, we call it a jali sometimes, the grill that we have. In that, I had put a small aloe vera plant along with others. And I was noticing that the crows, I didn't really pay attention to it closely initially. So I thought that the crows were attacking the plants for some reason. I thought maybe they wanted water because it was aloe vera and it was being plucked every day. A couple of 4-5 blades were there, and already 2-3 were already taken. And when it got too much, the day when everything was taken out. So I was furious. I was furious at these crows' sudden behavior, sudden nasty behavior from the crows, that they were pulling everything out and destroying my small plants. I was worried. I said maybe they want water because they were going after the aloe vera. So I put out water. But then the next day I'm noticing that one of the crows again came to destroy something. So I realized, and it looked very rough. So I was there and I chased it away. But before, again the next day when I came, this crow was coming around the grill, but it was chased away by another crow. That crow always sits on my grill, in an isolated corner, and it came and it chased the crow away. I was wondering what was going on. I thought maybe they are fighting over something or something like that. The next time, again I noticed that the rough crow came, but it was chased away by another crow. And it took me a while to realize that the other crows were trying not to harm me, and they were trying to, eliminate this bad crow, nasty crow, away from my window, because they were used to living around the window. They know I don't harm them. Sometimes, I give them a little bit something. Sometimes I put out water when the weather is too hot or demanding for water. So they come, they are no nuisance at all. And suddenly there was this behavior which I could not reckon. I was trying to figure out what was happening. But before I could do something, they themselves took care of this bad crow. So it was one bad crow that could have given a bad name to all of the crows, because I was growing worried. I was growing worried for my plants because I had recently bought them and I wanted them to last. And unfortunately, one of them literally was broken completely. But I saw the defense mechanism of the crows that were trying to defend my territory, which was so good. So they are not disloyal, but we may consider them because of one crow or something here and there. They are in general not really disloyal, but they are independent. They like to be completely independent. And now the third reason why you should be liking crows is, and it is it is one of the amazing reasons why we should be actually learning something, a thing or two from them, is they are highly intelligent. A crow can be as intelligent as a 7-year-old human child. And it's not me just saying it, it is researchers, scientists have come to this conclusion while doing research on them, on their brain development, that they can be as smart as a 7-year-old child. I know for you, you will say a 7-year-old child isn't that smart, but in bird terms, but in animal terms, it is, right? If a 7-year-old child can do a lot of things, 7-year-old child is almost, coming closer to being independent physically. They can play, they can, build things, they can draw, they can paint, they can read, they can write. Even though it's not that much, but they can do a lot. They know what is harmful, they know who is harmful, they know how to protect themselves to a great extent. So a crow can be as intelligent as that. Crows are, or corvids are, the only non-primate living thing that is as intelligent as apes, or so close to humans. Crows also can use tools. They are one of the non-primate that can use tools. You may have noticed crows dropping things. They are not dropping because they love it. They are trying to break something so that they can eat things out of it, especially bones. They try to drop it, or sometimes they use a stick to do things. They actually hold the sticks in their bill and they do something to break things and use it. So they have several ways of using tools. They can remember faces for a very, very, very long time. They can mimic sounds that they hear. They are good at mimicking as well. And we all remember the famous story that we listen during our childhood, that how smartness can get you out of trouble. How the thirsty crow put pebbles in the pot of water that was at the bottom, and it rose because of the pebbles being put in it, and so that the crow could quench its thirst. So we all remember that. It's not just a myth, it's not just a motivational story, but it is reality. Crows are that smart to do things on a daily basis that could surprise you and me, but that's just being themselves. And I think they're growing smarter as they evolve as well. So they naturally are evolving as more smarter living things, or birds. This is third reason why we should have them around us. It's as simple as that. The fourth reason would be them, and I know this almost all of us know, that they are great scavengers. They are great terminators of insects, of unwanted things around us. So a crow on an average in one season can eat up to 40,000 insects, caterpillars, bugs, other insects. They can really act as terminators for these insects in a very natural way. No fumes, no chemicals, nothing that we have to do, no money spent, no chemicals sprayed in the environment, but nature taking care of the nature. It's as simple as that. So having crows around you is healthier always, because they are taking care of the wastage, they are taking care of the imbalance that can be created because of our negligence at times. Us humans can be quite negligent, and also they try to take out things that are still organic, still good to eat from garbage as well. You may have seen them. It's sad when you see that, but they are scavengers. They are looking for their food in things that we don't want. So the things that are waste for us, they are good for them. They are food for them. So they are generally, cleaners of the society. They are cleaning our environment. They are keeping us healthy, and in very indirect way. So we do not thank them enough, but we should be thanking them, because they are exterminating things that we aren't doing, and that is benefiting us. It's like symbiosis that we are sharing, and because of that, you should always love to have them around. Don't hate their sound, don't hate them around, because they are there for a purpose. They are there on a mission. We may not know that they are there on a mission to protect us against all that pest and insects that can be completely unwanted for us. So this was the fourth reason to really look forward to have them around you. Now, fifth reason would stun you in a way, but I have to share it because I like to surprise people. Crows can be extremely good looking. I know you will be surprised. Why am I saying that? It's not the beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. I'm not saying it in that sense. They are actually beautiful, but not with our eyes. They are beautiful with the eyes of the birds. So it's actually, the saying actually goes well. The beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. The birds see UV vision, ultraviolet vision, and in their vision, the color of the crow, the appearance of the crow can be extremely amazing and great. They glitter, they gleam, they are purplish, when you see in ultraviolet vision, and they look good. So crows are one of the desirable appearances for birds. We may not see their beauty, of course we don't have the eyes for it, but all those birds that are jealous of the crow, you have to ask them how much they would want to be that masculine, that good looking, and that gleamingly beautiful body and appearance of the crow. They always want to be like them, but they can't, because only the crows are gifted. So the crow may not appear good looking to you, or may just look black and they hardly you can see any features in them, always around you, and you're not respecting them. But other birds want to, they desire to be like them. They are one of the handsome birds to be around, because they look different, not to us but to the world of birds. They actually are good looking. There are so many birds that we may see as beautiful birds, but other birds don't find them that beautiful, because with their vision they are very pale, or they are not that attractive, but something else is attractive because they are seeing an ultraviolet vision. So crows can be extremely good looking. It's only that you need proper eyes to see the beauty, mirror cracking beauty. Now these are 5 unique reasons to like crows, and always look forward to have them around. I like them. Ever since I've noticed, I've observed that they can be this cooperative, and they like to be embraced, and we should be. And they are no harm. They don't compete with anyone. They are just there. They are living their life, and they like to have an environment where they can live, we can live, and we can coexist. Sometimes they can be actually nasty, but I can forgive them. Crows can also be so smart, when we were talking about the smartness, that they can plan ahead. They can have conferences, as in actually having group discussions among themselves for possible threats, or making plans to do certain things. So whenever you see a mandali of crows sitting, I think they are having their conference, or they are having a meeting for something. They are planning ahead. So all of these things they do, it's interesting. So many things birds do that we don't know, but they have a world of their own, and they don't care about us. It's just that when you start noticing, you start learning so much more about them, and I love to do that, because it surprises me in a very pleasant way, and I like to get involved. I like being involved in their lives too, because they are always around. They are not noticing me. They think that I don't exist maybe, unless I'm a threat to them. But I like noticing all that, and I like to be that bridge in between. So between the birds and the humans, there can be a bridge where you can get to know them better, so that you value their presence around you. This is all for this video. I hope you come back for future videos as well. I want to keep videos as interactive as possible, so leave comments in the comment section. That's all for this one. Thank you for being here.